You are listening to CAF Podcast with Charlotte Bilagy.
From scratching the first proposal to this, it went through a lot of development. We are really thankful for all CAF department for the support and for the appreciation of the CAF Women's Champions League project.
As you know, CAF organized on September 29 the draw for the first edition of the TotalEnergies CAF Women's Champions League. The tournament will be played in Egypt's capital, Cairo, from November 5 to November 19. At the end of the draw ceremony, we chatted with Meskerem Tadesse Goshime, Senior Manager of CAF Women's Football Development. It's an interview you have to follow in this podcast. 8 clubs will take part in the final tournament. You will listen here the reactions from coaches after the draw results were made public. You will realize how confident the teams are and how eager they are to win the trophy. But first, let's go back to the ceremony mastered by CAF Communications Director Alexandre Siwe and conducted by CAF Directors of Competitions Samson Adamu.
It's now time to go to the business of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome our draw conductor. He is kind of draw legend here in CAF. He is the CAF competition director. Please welcome Mr. Samson Adamu.
Now let us have a look at our teams in the groups. In Group A, we have Wadi Digla, AS Mende, and the first game of the competition, the opening game, will be between Wadi Digla and AS Mende on the 5th of November in the 30 June Stadium in Cairo, and they're joined by Malabo Kings and Hasaka Ladies. And in Group B, we have Vihiga Queens from Kenya, Mamelodi Sundowns, Asper Clubs from Morocco, and Rivers Angels completing the teams in Group B.
What a ceremony we attended in CAF headquarters in Cairo. We also chatted with the legend Perpetua Nkwocha, the one and only one. Nigeria's Super Falcons legend wrote some of the most beautiful pages of women's football in Africa. Nkwocha won 6 Women's Africa Cup of Nations with the Super Falcons and ended up top scorer at 3 editions. It's so good to have you. What does it mean for you to be here?
It means a lot to me, to be here presently. Yeah, it's really motivates my ambition of what I'm trying to work with.
Any prediction about the final tournament?
Yeah, right now we can't be able to say really who we win the tournament or who we whatever. Yeah, but I believe all the teams that qualified here, they are good teams, So, and it's gonna be a tough game for them because this is the first ever Women's Champions League,
What can you say to these young ladies that are about to play this very first tournament?
I would like to tell the younger players, for them to work hard, Let them think of working hard first before of anything, because when you work hard, you get a good result. So that's my advice to them.
Women's football is definitely one of the top priorities of CAF. And during the recent years, a lot has been done to develop women's football. Today is one of these days when you can take a look back to the achievements and be proud of the job done. The following discussion will show how much CAF Women's Champions League is such a great milestone for women's football in Africa. Meskerem Tadesse Goshime has joined us. She's the Senior Manager of Women's Football Department. Thank you for being here with us. You were there since the beginning of the project. How does it feel to see it come into life today with this draw for the CAF Women's Champions League?
When we create the Champions League, it was not just a question from us, but it was a push from all African women's clubs and all African women stakeholders. It's been a long time coming. And we're happy because also we are the second confederation to do it in a big in a big way like this, with a lot of clubs participating. So I'm really happy, and I'm really happy to be here to see it happen live.
Okay, now that you're talking about the participation, 32 teams played the zonal qualifiers. Were you expecting all these engagements from countries? And what does it mean for CAF women's football development?
Yes, the engagement is bigger because we have seen a lot of development in the past 10, 20 years of women's football. This is 70+% of CAF member association having a championship. And even the 32 teams, they were licensed using the first club licensing criteria. This Champions League have produced a second movement, which is club licensing regulation for women's football, the first of its kind for CAF. So the 32 clubs, they are licensing. We could have even have more clubs. So it's really overwhelming. And it shows that women's football is on the rise. Member associations are investing in their own league. Moving forward, what we want to see for the Champions League is a strong Champions League. Strong Champions League in a sense that leagues of our member association have strong leagues. That's what we want to see.
Okay, what are now the plans for the future of the Women's Champions League from your side?
Coming up with the Champions League, we also have the national team competition, the CAF national team competition. We also have the biggest engagement, 44 teams engaging in the AFCON qualifiers. It's first time. And we want to see more talent being showcased. Teams or players who doesn't make it in the national team, we will see them representing the CAF Champions League. Moving forward, we really want to see a strong Champions League, sponsored Champions League with a good prize money that can attract a lot of investors for future. Plus to that, we really want to showcase African talent. We have a raw talent, and we want to see African club who won the Champions League, winning the women's, the FIFA Women's Club Champions League, which is coming up. And maybe why not win the World Cup in women's football? And I believe we can do that first than the men football.
Thank you, Meskerem. We wish you all the best for women's football development.
Thank you very much.
So many expectations from CAF sides with this TotalEnergies CAF Women's Champions League. But no one better than the clubs know the prestige of taking part in such a tournament. After the draw, we talked to some managers from the qualified teams to value their opinions on the results and to know their ambitions for the fantastic tournament which is coming. Let's start by Wahel El Said, head coach of Wadi Degla Sporting Club, the host nations club, 12-time winners of the Women's Premier League of Egypt, is a serious contender for the final coronation.
In
the group, we have champions of Ghana, Mali, and Equatorial Guinea. They are all very good teams who qualified from their respective zones, and we are preparing well to face them. These are the best 8 teams in Africa. All the 8 teams have ambitions to win the tournament. They are all champions and will do their best on this tournament. We started preparing since mid-July. We had a physical program to prepare and added some new players. We will have a closed camp in Ain Sokhna to prepare, including some friendly games. We will have another closed camp just before the tournament. Our ambition is to win this Champions League, especially it's the maiden edition and played here in Egypt. We want to win the title.
Another club clearly expressed their intentions for Egypt 2021 is the Malian club AS Mande from Bamako. Head coach Abdraman Maiga picked a favorite for the final tournament but promised to give all to win the trophy.
Bon, je pense que nous partons à chance égale.
We are starting on equal terms because these are teams that have been designated as champions of their respective zones. This means that we have practically the same level and the same considerations. I'm not afraid of any team in the group, but I can at least designate one as the favorite. It is the host country, which is Egypt, and not only through its talent or because it's a football country, but also because the tournament is played at home and the public will be almost acquired. Like all the other teams, our ambitions are legitimate. We really intend to make a tailor-made service and to give an honorable place to the team, especially for the country. The preparation? It remains the same compared to the first tournament, and it is local, based in Bamako. Perhaps we may lack the means, but we will do with what we have. Since the start of training, we have been planning and taking that in the office. Now we're waiting for reactions.
The Central African representative Malabo Kings are also excited to take part in this tournament. Doslin Teolo, the head coach of the Equatorial Guinean club, is satisfied with the result. Let's listen to what she said just after knowing a team will play in Group A alongside Wadi Degla FC from Egypt, AS Mende from Mali and Asaka Ladies from Ghana.
On trouve ce tirage assez favorable pour nous.
This draw is quite favorable for us. It is true that there are two teams, that of Mali and Egypt, which are not well-known teams on the African stage. We don't know how they play, but we still think it's a good draw for us. Of course, for us, the most formidable team is that of Ghana. There's a tournament which was recently played in Nigeria, and the Ghana team was represented by, I think, 10 players of this team, which will be in the Champions League. Of course, this is not to underestimate the other teams, no. We will take everyone on equal footing. We think the Ghana team are quite favorites in our group. And I can also say Malabo Kings are also a favorite within our group from what I saw during the qualifiers. But I think that we too can be considered favorites without extrapolating. Now, the preparation will be done as we have always done. We will try to insist on certain aspects. You have to be physically up to speed, technically on top, and tactically ready. We will always insist on these three plans: technical, tactical, and physical, to be able to approach the tournament in good conditions. The second round is accessible, and we have had the chance. I can say that the luck is to avoid South Africa and Nigeria teams. It is also better to face them later, as late as possible.
For Yusuf Basigi, head coach of Asaka Ladies, quote, the other three clubs, Wadi Degla, AS Mende, and Malabo Kings will come prepared. Therefore, we cannot take any team for granted. It is just a matter of adjusting our preparations accordingly to live up to expectations. Unquote. This is definitely an exciting group to watch with UNAF, UNIFAC, WAFU A and WAFU B representatives. In Group B, CAF qualifiers champions Viga Queens believe in themselves. The coach of the Kenyan club addressed the group as very tight, a kind of group of death.
We are coming to Egypt to do our best and win the tournament and become the inaugural CAF Women's Champions League champions. With the trust in the Almighty God, hard work, teamwork, and unity, I sincerely believe it will be possible because we are Viga Queens, the legacy makers.
great expectations from the legacy makers of Vega Queens. As far from Morocco also shared their thoughts as they will play in Group B with Mamelodi Sundowns, Vega Queens and Rivers Angels. Speaking to CAFOnline.com, head coach Abdallah Aidamu said, quote, "We respect all opponents. All the teams participating in the final stages of the competitions are of a good level. And the proof is their victory in the local championships as well as their qualification at the regional level. The chances of all the teams are equal given their great competitiveness. The teams which will be more realistic and which will approach the rounds of the competitions with the required seriousness will be the closest to the title." He confided before adding, "The preparations are continuing with the necessary seriousness in order to live up to the aspiration and sign an exemplary participation. We are aware of the extent of the responsibility entrusted to us, especially in the presence of very competitive teams. We will play all the cards. Our bet is to go as far as possible in the first edition of this competition. Like the rest of the participating teams, we aspire to an honorable participation that meets expectations in order to consolidate the image of the club at the continental level. As far was the first Moroccan team to win the African Champions League in 1985 at the men's level, and our bet is to rewrite history with our women's team." Unquote. In Group B, Jerry Shabalala from Mamelodi Sundowns also shared his high expectations. The club, founded in 2009, won the COSAFA qualifiers to get their ticket for Egypt 2021. They are also 3 times winner of the National Women's League in South Africa.
I'm really happy that we've got the Rivers Angels in our group. I'm also happy that we've got Vihiga Kings from Kenya. Fortunate enough, I've managed to see some of their games that they've played during their qualifiers. The only close book to us, it's AS FAR Rabat from Morocco. We'll need to go out there and find out how do they play, how do they apply themselves, you know. With Rivers Angels, we know it's a big team from Nigeria, stronger team from Nigeria. We saw them when they play against Hasaka during group stages. They've won, but going into the final, Hasaka came back strongly and beat them. So basically, it tells you that it's going to be a tougher group. We're ready to go to Egypt and conquer Africa, you know. If one wants to be the champion, you need to play against a stronger opponent from Africa. I'm not taking anything away from Vihiga Queens. They've got one of the best strikers in Gentrix Chicago. So we're not just singling out any players, but we're doing our homework. We're ready for them. We're looking forward to representing South Africa quite well. So this is going to be a nice tournament for us, and even for the girls to go out there and engage themselves. How can I forget to thank the management with the support that they've been giving us? They've been behind us. They've been supporting us. Look, also our supporters, Mamelodi Sundowns supporters, they're looking forward to this tournament. On social media, they've been buzzing, you know, urging us to bring the glory home. We're not gonna let them down. We'll definitely bring it home.
Edwin Okon, the coach of Rivers Angels from Nigeria, also said something interesting before the competition. He said the target is to put up a better outing at the continent stage, and the only way we can achieve this is by having an adequate preparation. We don't want to be in Egypt to make up numbers, but to participate and leave a mark, he concluded. As you can see, everything is settled for the final tournament. The games will be played in Cairo, the Egyptian capital, which has such a wonderful history, is ready to host the participating teams. The opening game will oppose Wadi Degla to AS Mende on November 5. To know which one of the 8 clubs involved will be named champions, you have to follow the competition. To know much more about the TotalEnergies CAF Women's Champions League and everything regarding CAF Women's football, please visit CAFOnline.com. Thank you for being with us. We can't wait to have you for our next podcast. Bye.